That was good.
This is Yenisbel Hernandez with ABA Exam Academy Study Group, and we're going over more questions for task list section B. This is the next one. Demi wants to analyze the individual treatments that are part of her treatment package. She will conduct a functional analysis. We did this one already. Let's do it fast. Conduct a functional analysis, conduct a component analysis, conduct an effectiveness analysis, and conduct a what's happening analysis. Which one?
B.
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 What's happening there? Okay. Baseline logic. When I was almost done with this presentation, somebody asked, please, can you do something on baseline logic? So I did my best in the last couple hours. So let's help each other out here, okay? They're not mock questions, they're more like presenting the information. So the way that the parts of baseline logic are, the way that I thought of baseline logic after reading, and I talked to a BCBA that is really good, and I said, how can we like explain it simpler? So in simpler words, baseline logic is basically an approach to analyzing behavior change depicted in graphs. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm done. I'm good. So it's, I don't know why we keep reading it and it keeps, to me, it's a little weird, but then when I think about it this way, then it makes sense. Okay, so we have 3, but actually 4, right? I don't know, depending on which book you read. So I put it like this, 1, 1.2, 2, and 3. So we have, the first one is prediction, the second one is affirmation of the consequent, and verification and replication. I'm sorry, guys. I meant originally to ask you what it was, but then I forgot. Okay, so let's do this one. This one's straight from Cooper as well. This figure shows the prediction part of baseline logic. The solid points represent blank. The open data points represent blank. So these type of questions I also saw in the test, meaning, you know, like 2 components, 2 blank components, I guess. Okay, so A, levels of behavior during baseline, or levels of behavior during treatment. Actual measures of behavior, predicted levels of responding, levels of behavior in treatment A, and levels of behavior in treatment B. I know it's tricky, so if you want, I can read it again or give you time to read it yourself.
B. It's B.
Okay, so we have 2 for B. Anybody else who wants to be brave? Be brave, people, be brave. Do I have another B?
I'll say B again. That makes it 3.
Right?
That's B's right.
The answer is B. Okay, who wants to explain why the answer is B, guys?
I can explain. Okay, so it's not, at first I was confused, but then I looked at the other choices and I said that it's not A, because even though you might read the first part and think levels of behavior during baseline, yeah, but then you look at the second part and say levels during treatment. There's no treatment there, because that box with the open circles, that's not a treatment. So I knew it couldn't be that.
How do you know it's not a treatment?
That's
because it's got the box around it and the non-filled in circles.
it's not a treatment because there's no phase line, and that you know, and there's no label, and also we know that
it doesn't say anything about the treatment,
right. And we know that open dots is prediction.
Nice. Ooh, fancy mod. Open dot. It's predictions. Yes.
It took me so long to finally get this crap.
We're gonna rock the test.
Now I can do it my eyes. I hope so.
Well, in this case, I think it's a combination of everything that you guys said. Is the open dots, but also it doesn't have the labels, and it doesn't have, it doesn't have the line dividing them, and because sometimes, and also the rectangle, right?
And also, if you guys just looking at both of both data points, just know that the one that are darker is the actual data that was taken. The open circles are just predicted if you did not, if you had continued, if you did not, I guess, start your treatment, the behavior would have, it will have continued.
I don't know if this would help anybody, but the open circles, if anybody's ever seen Pretty Woman when they go to the opera and she's like, mine are broken, that's what I think. Like, you're trying to predict, like you're looking through the glasses and predict what's going to happen. I know that's a silly example, but it works for me, so maybe it'll help somebody.
Hey, however it takes to remember.
Yeah, right?
So you guys are saying the open dot, whenever it's not shaded in, that's the prediction?
Correct.
Yeah.
So only the darker, only the one that are filled in, that's the actual data. The open circle is just predicted if you did not start the treatment. That's the direction the data point will have continued.
Right, but you have to be careful. I've seen open dots like that used as a real mark.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it has to be in a combination.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about specifically, like Bob said, is specifically where they're referring to
Baseline logic.
Yes,
Baseline logic, when you see open dots, that's just telling you it's prediction. But yes, like whomever just said that, they do use open dot combination for other graph.
Yes. So basically, in a question, you gotta filter everything, right? You need to put everything through a filter. First, you're gonna look at the scenarios. Is saying anything about baseline logic? Then you look at the graph where where are the open dots, where are the dark circles. Then that's like the filter that you gotta go through. Let's ask this one. The open dot points represents the level, and this one's from the book. The open dot points represent the level of responding that would be predicted on the basis of the obtained measures. Basically what we just said. Should the environment change or remain constant?
Remain constant.
Remain constant.
Nice, guys. Nice. You're good at this. Remain constant. So, what happened here? Oh, there you go. It's upside down. Right. So here we go. Let's read it anyways. Demi is collecting baseline data on her client's target behavior. How many measures must she be taking before she can predict the future behavior with confidence? This one was supposed to be a cool one, a tricky one. Obtain baseline measures over 2 consecutive weeks. Collect baseline data for at least 5 sessions. No specific number is needed, or when the data points show stability. You already know the answer, but let's discuss it anyways. What's the answer?
You don't need 3 points on this?
Actually,
no.
The book, and I wrote here the page number. I'm glad you asked that, Claudia, because the book said that sometimes they give me these 2 specifically. Sometimes people think that obtaining baseline measures over 2 consecutive weeks would be enough, or collecting baseline data for at least 5 sessions or 3 consecutive points would be enough. But they were saying that the key thing is not the amount or the consecutive sessions. The key thing, stability.
Right.
When it's,
is it like 3 sessions and stability, or there's no number at all?
Well,
there's no number.
So if, let's say, if you were to just go and take data, yes, you can do 2 consecutive weeks, but if if the data varies, you wouldn't implement a treatment. You will wait for it to stable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
So,
conjunctive.
but I'm sorry, I interrupted somebody.
It's a conjunctive. You have to do this and that.
Well, they didn't specify the specific, they didn't say the Cooper, what I read from Cooper doesn't specify a number, but it does say, for instance, let's say that this question, I would add, it needed to have a stability and it would have 3 points, 3 consecutive points, or 5 consecutive points. It did say that you go with the one that has the most consecutive points, that's the one that has the most stability. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So that's what they said. They said basically the more times you do it, and it's stable. And if you have 2 choices, the more times you do it and it's stable, then that's the one you pick. So it all depends on the question that they're giving you. So if the question, let's change this question around and we would put, they have a stability with 5 consecutive points, 5 consecutive sessions, and they have stability with 3 consecutive sessions, then the best answer in that scenario, I would say, is 5, because it's the one that gives you the more repeated data with stability. But when in doubt, always go to Cooper, page 170, guys. Okay, so this one is, which part of the baseline logic is shown in this figure? We had already talked about 3. It's prediction, affirmation of the consequence, verification, or replication?
Prediction.
Prediction. Anybody else?
Fiction.
Fiction.
Okay. Prediction, you are correct. The analyst predicts that if the environment remains constant, then the data will stay the same. Guys, and the key words that I keep seeing over and over again is that if the environment remains constant. Okay? So which part is telling you the prediction? Is it this part or this part? I mean, the dark dotted points or
The prediction is the boxed off part.
yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I got there. The words that they use is hypothetical data. In Jenny words, it's not real, man, it's fake, but it's hypothetical. There you go. Okay, which part of the baseline logic is shown in the figure? So we have the same one, we have this one, and now we are adding this one. What part is that one? I'm gonna give you the options. I'm not gonna give it to you in order, okay? Verification, affirmation of the consequence, or prediction?
Affirmation of consequence.
Thank you. Was that Alicia? Was that
Yeah.
Alicia? Thank you, Alicia. Anybody else?
I agree with her.
Me too.
Agree. Let's
Yeah.
agree. There you go. That's the part that you will be looking at. I think that in the test, they should tell you specifically what you should be looking at because it has different levels. So I'm not sure what they would do to make you realize. I think they might say which part of the baseline logic is shown in the figure that says treatment, something like that. You see what I'm saying? Affirmation of the consequence. So the definition that I found is the assumption is made. So you, the therapist, the analyst, made the assumption that if the treatment was not applied, the behavior as indicated on the baseline data path would not change. So basically, in prediction, we said, oh my God, look, this is his behavior. If you continue, it's stable. So if it continues that way with no treatment, it would stay here. So this is prediction. But now I implemented the treatment. Like, had I not implemented the treatment, that's what it would have happened. But now everything changed. Make sense? Anybody else wants to explain it in like different words?
Is it kind of like you're confirming that if you like implement the treatment, almost like, I don't want to say consequence because I don't want to confuse it, but it's like you're confirming that there's a change once a treatment is implemented. Is that kind of?
I think the affirmation is like basically you're affirming the fact that you were right. That look is had you not implemented the treatment, the behavior would have stayed in the baseline part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But affirmation is one of the trickiest one because from what I understood, it requires the step one. So it requires the prediction. So you see in the definition, it has the 2 steps. So you predicted that they will continue in baseline. So if you implemented the treatment, so it changed. That one's tricky. Let me put my computer to charge. 1 second. It fell again. Hopefully it won't die on me. Okay, guys. So the next one is, so that's the by itself. This is the pink one by itself. Which one is that one? I want to work on fluency on this.
Prediction.
Prediction. Nice. The blue one together with the bottom part and the top part is
Affirmation.
consequent. Consequent. You know that when I was writing it, I put consequence. I'm like, oh my God. So you better read it carefully in the test. Is the real data? Which one is the other real data? The other one that we talked about, and the hypothetical data is the one that we had said that is the blank one. Okay, which part of the baseline logic is shown in the figure? Where do I put you? And this one, let's assume that the test is gonna somehow tell us like in baseline 2, or they would circle it. Which part is that one? I'm gonna read it, okay? Is it prediction, replication, or verification?
Verification.
Verification.
Nice, guys, but you're so good at that, at this. Verification, let's do verification. So in verification, when you, the analyst, remove the treatment, behavior goes back to baseline. So you remove the treatment, goes back to baseline, goes down. So woohoo, let's celebrate. Now you have verified that the treatment you implemented changed the behavior. Just like you said, you are awesome. So which one is the real one? Which one is the real data?
The solid data points.
The solid. We know this. By the end of today, we're going to know this for sure. Solid, solid, solid equals real, real equals solid. And which one are this one?
Data.
Blank ones. We said we were going to call it blank ones, right? Solid data points and open dots. That's the way they call it. That one is not real. This one's not real.
So in baseline 2, the prediction, the open dots, that's the prediction about the treatment, like how the treatment would continue if
yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're predicting that if you continue with the treatment, it's gonna stay at that level.
Responding levels. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, and I guess I'm pretty sure the same rule applies with the part about a stable data. You need to wait for the data to be stable to be able to change it to baseline. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. So let's do fluency. So the pink one by itself, what would it be?
Prediction.
Nice. The blue by itself,
Affirmation of the consequence.
Affirmation.
affirmation. Let's practice affirmation of the consequence. And the green one,
Verification.
there you go, verification. Which part of the baseline logic is showing in the figure? Let's assume that they're saying treatment 2, or they have it circled.
Replication.
That's replication.
That's replication. Good job, guys. So, oh my God, you repeated the same treatment. The real data shows that the treatment changed the behavior, and now you were able to replicate it, and the behavior changed again. Yippee! Basically,
I'm sorry. Is there a reason why they have those greed thing around it, the replication, or is it just?
I know I read it in Cooper really fast, but it didn't seem important to me. So, but I cannot tell you specifically. I don't know if they wanted to differentiate between this is the second treatment and this is, you know, how this one looks a little different. Baseline 2 also looks a little different. Maybe they wanted to make sure that we know that it's the second.
Oh, okay.
But the key part here is the black dots are, like you said, the real ones, and the other ones, the blank ones, are the hypothetical ones.
Okay.
Okay, I forgot my questions. My questions were the same. We know that part already, and we know this part already. So again, let's repeat. Which one? Pink by itself?
Prediction.
Prediction. Blue?
Affirmation.
Affirmation of consequence.
Consequence. Woohoo! And green by itself?
Verification.
Verification. Good job, guys. And that is it.
Wow.
Thank you.
You graduated.
Well done. Thank you so much.
That was very good, very helpful. Thank you, Yanni.
You're welcome, guys. Remember to share, subscribe, and everything else. We're going to post the video in YouTube later.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Take care.